Okay, it is 10 a.m., so we are going to go ahead and get started with the webinar. My name is Christina Schaefer. I'm the social media manager for HAR. I'm going to be going through all of this presentation with you guys today. I have a lot of good information for you to share with you. They did go ahead and schedule the webinar for the full hour, but this webinar should take us no longer than about 30 minutes to get through. So we do have some good information. It's just not going to take us a full hour, so we should be done in about 30 minutes. As we're going through, if you have any questions, you should see a little panel on your screen. You can type questions into that questions panel, and I'll check periodically for questions as we go through. So as you can see on the screen, today we're talking about the truth about millennial home buyers. I also have my contact information on there for you. If you have any questions after today, you're also welcome to reach out to me. I have my email address on there and my handle on there as well for you. So if you have any questions, if you want to take a picture of that or write that down, I do have a difficult to spell first name and last name. So you might want to take a picture of it or just make sure you're spelling it correctly as you jot it down. Okay, so again, if you have any questions as we go through, go ahead and type them into the questions box and I will check those as we go through. So let's talk about our topic for today, the truth about millennial home buyers. So we hear all the time, it really is almost a buzzword, millennials. We hear jokes about millennials, we see memes and GIFs about millennials, but millennial home buyers and millennial consumers, there's a lot of misconceptions, and I want to explain some of that information with you today. So let's just quickly talk about the millennial consumer. When you're thinking about the millennial consumer, you might think about the different products they might be buying. Believe it or not, they do buy things other than avocado toast. So they are spending their money, and I do have a figure for that to show you, and some more figures to show you about how they are actually spending their money. So just let's talk about some traits about the millennial consumer. So first up, millennials love to give back. Okay, um, this is something that's very common amongst millennial consumers. Anyone in the millennial generation, they love to give back, but they also really appreciate working with brands or companies that give back as well. When we think about, for example, Tom's shoes, you buy a pair of shoes, they give a pair of shoes to someone in need, or there's a glasses company. You buy glasses, they give a pair of glasses to a child that needs glasses. So they love working with brands that are giving back, that are charitable. So if this is something that you're already doing, maybe I know there's some realtors that a portion of every commission they give to charity, or they, will do different things like that. Or maybe they just spend their free time volunteering at the food bank. If that's something that you do, a millennial that you're working with, client or customer, they want to know about it because that is very important to them, the give back mindset. So it's just something to think about, if that's something you're already doing and maybe haven't been, sharing with your clients and customers. So they understand social media and the power of engagement. What does that mean for you? Well, that means that they want to connect with you on social media. If you're somebody who maybe in the past you've said to yourself, I don't really want to friend my clients and customers on Facebook. Well, guess what? A millennial consumer, client or customer, they're going to be looking you up on social media. They're going to want to connect with you because they understand how that engagement works, and they want you to engage with them. Okay, it's about building a relationship with them. Um, Millennials try to be accommodating. So what does that mean for you? Again, that means they expect you to also be accommodating. Whether that be something as simple as, hey, I said call me after 3 p.m. It's not quite 3 p.m. Why are you calling me? To just accommodating them with, a location that you're meeting. They want to accommodate you, but they also want you to be considerate and accommodating them. Transparency is key. This is really something that we see across any consumer, whether it be a consumer of any generation. They need to know what's going on, and they want to see the truth, right? They want to understand the truth. So What does that mean for you? Again, if you're using some sort of transaction management program that lets them know step by step where we are in the process, that's excellent, because that is working for you and letting them know that, what step you're in the process automatically. If you're working with a buyer and maybe, they're waiting on the offer to get accepted, just even letting them know, hey, I gave the offer to the listing agent confirmed it that they received our offer, now we're waiting, right? So just simple communication and transparency goes a long, long way with millennials. Also, millennials want to work with friends. So this goes back to what I was saying earlier about they understand social media and they understand engagement. They want to work with friends. They're going to send you friend requests. They're going to want to follow you on Instagram and all of that stuff because they want to work with somebody that's a friend to them. Now, does that mean they will only work with other millennials? Absolutely not. But if you're somebody who's not taking advantage of connecting and engaging with clients and customers on social media, you're missing out. And millennials want that from you. They want to work with a friend. Okay. They also value authenticity. So again, transparency, authenticity, they want to know the real deal. You don't have to sugarcoat it for millennials. Tell them what's going on. If we're dealing with a difficult transaction, be transparent, be open about it, let them know. Something that a lot of realtors do is they undersell themselves. You guys fight fires every day for your clients and customers, and maybe don't let them know you're fighting those fires. It's really important to let a millennial client or customer know about that, because that's something that they value and is very important to them. They respond to personalized marketing. So this is even before they're a client. Maybe it's just a casual acquaintance. If or maybe you don't know them at all, right? And you're creating an ad on Facebook, whatever it is. They respond to personalized marketing. This is something for you to really think about, just in general. Maybe you've scrolled through Facebook, for example, and you come across an ad for a product and you're thinking, hey, I was just Googling that product, right? Or I was just talking to somebody about that. Well, that is Facebook and Google and all these other websites trying to market to you, but it's a personalized marketing. So if I don't have, maybe I see a product for a dog and I don't have a dog, well, that has nothing to do with me. That's frustrating. That's annoying. I don't want to see that. But if I have a dog and I see this great, maybe, I don't know, Christmas stocking or something for a dog, that's personalized. It makes sense to me and it applies to me. So they're not against getting marketed to, they're not against ads. They just want marketing that makes sense and actually applies to them. They favor word of mouth. If you are not getting online reviews of some form or fashion at this point, you are missing out on a lot of consumers. It's not just millennials in this case. A lot of consumers are looking for that word of mouth. Millennials specifically start most of their shopping online and are looking for reviews and feedback online before they ever spend a dime, before they ever pick up the phone. They want to know what other people thought more than any other generation. So online reviews are crucial. If you're not getting online reviews, you could be missing out. All right, so here's some really good news. Actually, one piece of not so good news, and then I'll get to some good news. I'm sorry. So millennials graduated college at a time when the workforce was plagued with we had a recession. There were no jobs. They got a degree in, I don't know, let's just say marketing, because we're talking about marketing, and had to take a job maybe as a waiter, right? So there were not a lot of jobs available specifically in the fields that they sought their degrees in. So they came into a workforce that was very difficult. It was hard to save money. They have more student loans than any other generation. We'll see that in a little bit. So this is something that has delayed their home purchasing, right? Millennials, if you're not aware, the age range for millennials is 23 to 38. Okay, 23 to 38. And they are now becoming the largest home buying demographic because although it did take them longer than other generations, they are now getting ready to buy homes. The purchasing power of millennial consumers is estimated to be about $170 billion a year. That's just general goods, but they are finally ready to buy homes, and they are the largest home buying demographic currently, and that is expected to grow in 2020 and beyond. Okay, so that's just a little bit about the millennial consumer, understanding how they work, understanding how to market to them. It's really important to understand them to understand how to get their business. And again, does this mean they will only work with other millennials because they're looking for somebody who's their friend and will engage with them and is going to be transparent and authentic? Absolutely not. But that just means if you're not already doing those things, this is something you really need to consider. I'm about to move away from this screen, so if you're still jotting down notes, maybe take a quick picture with your phone or something like that so that you can get this down, because that was quite a few bullets that we just went through. I'll also send a recording of this to everyone after we finish, so don't worry if you can't get all the notes down. Okay, so let's talk real numbers, because I said that they graduated college, and came into a difficult workforce. They have more student debt than any other generation. Recently, one of our millennial members actually did some research, and found some really interesting information about the average household in 1979 and the average household in 2019. You can see the side-by-side comparisons here of income and how much was spent and how much was actually they were able to save. And this is another, I just think this is really interesting to see. So the average household income in 1979 was $52,000. Okay, now is $70,000. Okay, millennials are considered the richest generation because their average income tends to be higher than past generations. However, when we start looking at these expenses in just a second, you're going to see that although they are the richest quote unquote generation, it doesn't mean they have the cash flow of previous generations. Okay, so in 1979, there was typically one income source. Now we have two. Okay, so again, more income. But let's look at some of these expenses. So yearly rent or mortgage, $9,500 in 1979. Now we're looking at almost $26,000. Childcare, about $5,500 in 1979. Now almost $14,000. Here's where we really start to struggle. Student loans, about $1,000 a year in 1979. Now they're looking at almost $10,000 a year. Healthcare, $800 in 1979. $5,500 now in 2019. And these numbers, this is on average. I myself am a millennial. Some of these numbers I'm looking and I'm saying, I wish mine was that low, right? So this is on average. This doesn't apply to every single household, but we can kind of see the difference here between spending in 1979 and what was available then versus what that we have now. Transportation, maybe there was one person working, maybe we only need one car. Now we have two, right? So the expenses have gone up tremendously, and you can actually see here the cash balance. So in 1979, the average household had about a $20,000 or $20,418 surplus. Now we're looking at a debt of about $7,000. Okay, so there's some real challenges that millennial home buyers are currently facing, and it's really important for you as realtors to be aware of them, because does that mean that you can just count out millennials? Well, I'll help other generations buy homes. Absolutely not. Again, they're the largest home buying demographic. Most of the world's population is under the age of 35. So these are clients that we need to be paying attention to, looking at their specific needs, understanding that it's not that they're lazy, it's not that they're wasting money on avocado toast, it's that they have real challenges that they are facing. Okay, so let's look at some ways that we can help millennial clients. As we're going through, again, if you have any questions, type them into the little questions tab that's on your screen. I don't see any questions at this time, so I'm just going to keep on moving here. So getting into how can I help a millennial client? Okay, how can I help a millennial client? Because again, it's really important for this generation to buy homes, right? Some of them have already bought homes. Some are just starting to think about it. Some are maybe just finally feel they've saved enough money to do it, right? So how can I help a millennial client? Well, the first thing we can do is understand their situation. Okay, be understanding of their situation. We just saw that side-by-side comparison of the average household budget, right? understand that. Understand that they came into a difficult workforce. Understand that they may have a lot of student home debt, or excuse me, student loan debt. Sorry. Um, so understand that situation before you even get into it with them, and also offer assistance before they're ready to buy. Okay. If you have a friend or family member, acquaintance, whoever it is that is a millennial they're currently renting, or maybe you've even heard them casually say, yeah, I just don't know if we could ever save enough money for all those closing costs and the down payment, and it's just so much money. Maybe start offering assistance ahead of time, giving them some goals, or maybe setting them up with financial assistance in some way. And I have some more options for that in a second. Also, you yourself take some time to learn about credit repair programs. Again, these students, when they were in high school and college, this is the age where they were just giving out credit cards like candy, right? So maybe they screwed up their credit from very early on. Maybe they had this tremendous student loan debt that they couldn't repay because they didn't have a good job once they graduated college. So understand that their credit may not be where it needs to be, and you yourself take on and learn about some credit repair programs so that, again, you can offer assistance before they're ready to buy, right? Um, Help them understand that that student loan debt is going to affect their debt to income ratio. So if they are still looking at a really high amount of student loan debt, maybe, help them figure out a way to get that down so they can buy a home and save money, right? And also, very, very important, and something that a lot of people skip and don't pay attention to, is learn about affordable housing programs. Okay. I've heard realtors in the past say, oh, well, my clients don't need affordable housing. That's, for really low income families, and most of my clients are not in need of that. As we can see, millennials may need that. Maybe it is their first home. There's a lot of programs out there that they could be taking advantage of. This is a website you're going to want to write down. It's just har.com/affordable housing. We have an affordable housing program finder on har.com with down payment assistance programs, affordable housing search, and affordable housing association. So a lot of great resources here for you to take advantage of. This is mostly City of Houston and Harris County on here. If maybe you're in Montgomery County, see if there's something in Montgomery County or Fort Bend County. See if there's something for maybe a first-time home buyer, right? Specifically, a first-time home buyer, in a lot of these cases, they might be able to find a program where they don't have to put any money down, or maybe they can find a way to waive their closing costs in some way, right? So take some time, you yourself, to learn about these programs so that you can offer assistance to millennial home buyers. Okay, so again, if you didn't jot that down yet, har.com/affordable housing. Okay, something else you can do as a realtor: get to know your lender friends. And I put friends in quotes here on purpose. I hear this from realtors all the time. Like I told you guys, I'm the social media manager for HAR. I also teach social media classes for HAR. And I hear this from realtors all the time. I have all of these uh, lenders and title company people, and all of these people are sending me friend requests on Facebook. Well, if they're your friends, quote unquote, on Facebook, maybe get to know them a little bit, right? Especially those lenders, because they may, again, have programs or situations or things that can help your millennial clients and customers. Maybe they have some great credit repair program that they're aware of, or maybe they can even just sit down and have a face-to-face consultation with your millennial clients or customers. Okay, it's going to be great for you, it's going to be great for them, and of course you're going to stay top of mind in that millennials mind when they're ready to buy a home, because you're going to be the person that helped them get there. Okay, so get to know your lender friends, right? Or if you already have a lender friend, talk to them about what can we do. Maybe we can host some sort of seminar for millennial first-time home buyers, or just millennial buyers in general, right? So get to know them, create something that can benefit millennials so that they can buy a home. Also, same thing with home builders. Okay, there are home builders all over Houston and surrounding areas, a lot of different companies. Again, if you know any of them, if are there just some in your area, go drive down to that new neighborhood in your area, go meet the salesperson there and find out what incentives they're offering buyers, what incentives they're offering first time home buyers. Be aware of these programs so that you can better serve your millennial clients and customers. Okay. So again, and also their pricing, right? A lot of times we think new construction and we think, oh, there's no way that, somebody in this situation might be able to afford it. They're way too much money. Maybe they've got some models that aren't, right? Or maybe they can let you know about a new neighborhood that's coming a few miles down the road, and that price point would be better suited for your client or customer, right? So get to know the lenders, get to know your home builders, and find out what's available. Something else that everyone needs to be aware of are VA loans. Okay. If you are not familiar with VA loans, you need to get familiar with VA loans. Okay. Millennials got into or were graduating high school and in high school during and middle school during 9/11. That increased a very it increased the amount of people that were getting into the military, into the armed forces. Okay. That means they might be applicable or might be eligible, excuse me, for a VA loan. Okay. So find out about these programs, VA loans, because chances are if you have a millennial client or customer, they might be a veteran. Okay. So they've been underutilized when it comes to mortgages. Millennials are starting to take advantage of them though. Okay. Um, so the amount of millennials that are using a VA loan has jumped 14% over since last year. Okay, so it's increasing. VA loan activity also surged amongst Gen Z buyers. So Gen Z are 22 and under. Okay, and combined. The two generations accounted for 45% of all VA purchase loans originated in the past year. Also, according to the Millennial Tracker from mortgage technology provider Ellie Mae, the average millennial VA borrower enjoyed a 3.5% interest rate in September, significantly lower than the overall average of 3.93 across all loan types. So they're able to get a lower interest rate. That is huge. That 0.4% makes a big difference. This actually came directly from a Forbes article. I went ahead and took the liberty of shortening the link of that article for you guys. I'll go ahead and type it into the chat for you as well. It's just bit.ly/2R capital X I capital R Y. I strongly encourage you guys to go read that Forbes article because it's talking about VA loans specifically with millennial home buyers. We just recently had Veterans Day. I interviewed somebody from VA Rep on Member Focus Monday, and she said that a lot of lenders aren't, really pushing the VA loans because maybe they're not aware of how to make them work. So again, back to get to know your lender friends, find one that understands VA loans as well. That's going to be able to help that millennial veteran. Okay. All right. I don't see any questions, so we'll just keep moving here. And again, I put that link in the chat. Oh, did I miss the second two on the link? Oh, I'm sorry, Rhonda. Thank you. Oh, I sure did. So ignore that first link. I'm sorry. I'll type it in there again. Good eye, Rhonda. So 2R, that's what happens when you're trying to do things live like this. X, I, capital R, Y. There we go. Whoops. Okay, so ignore that first link I sent. Thank you, Rhonda, for pointing that out to me. I appreciate that. All right. Very good. Okay, so moving along here, again, check out that Forbes article because I thought it was really interesting, and I don't think that's a solution that many people are thinking of to help out millennial buyers, okay? All right, so one more thing, I mentioned Member Focus Monday. I told you guys I'm the social media manager for HAR. Every Monday on HAR's Facebook page, I do a Facebook Live show called Member Focus Monday. Just 3 weeks ago, I had Millennial Realtor Nicole Lopez on, and we talked about more in depth the numbers, helping millennial home buyers. So this is something you might want to go watch. It's just on HAR's Facebook page, facebook.com/HAR fans. When you go to that Facebook page, you'll see live videos on the left-hand side, and you'll be able to see, it was just about 3 weeks ago, that video there. I really think that, again, we see that millennials do want to buy homes. We understand that, though, that they are facing difficulty. And so you as realtors, if you're wanting to be able to help these clients, and you're going to have to if you want clients, because again, most of the world's population is under the age of 35, we need to understand the challenges they're facing, and we need to be able to offer solutions. So again, find out about programs, credit repair, affordable housing, VA loans. These are all really, really important things that we need to be paying attention to if we wanted to help millennial home buyers. Okay. All right. So that is the end of my presentation. I don't see any other questions, but I'll wait here for just a minute or two to see if any questions pop up. My information's on the screen. Again, I will send all of you a link to the recording of this webinar once it's available. So if you missed anything and wanted to get it again, I'll send that to you guys after we're done. Can I send the budget slide to us? Very interesting, but not very legible. Yeah, I can send that to you guys after we're done here. Absolutely. Rhonda said, great info. Lori said, another thing I've noticed in the past 2 years, ... is that millennials are huge open house shoppers. Yes, they are. That's a really good point. And I think for you guys, Lori, that's a really good opportunity. Like I mentioned in the presentation, start working with them before they're your client, or before they're your client. If they come into your open house and you find out they're not pre-approved, they're not working with a realtor, get their information. If you are a platinum subscriber, get them logged into your branded app so they can start getting information from you. And again, start talking to them about any challenges they may have, and see if there's a solution you can offer. Yeah, that's a really good point, Lori. Another thing to that, by the way, because they do all of their shopping online, they're not coming to that open house unless they're really, really interested. They're not there to waste their time. So that's a really good thing if you see a millennial in your open house, because that means they are actually interested. They're not so much the looky-loos. All right, very good. So we'll go ahead and wrap it up. Thank you guys. I hope you all enjoyed it. Again, I'll be sending you information after the session is over. If you have any other questions, you guys all have my email address, so you can send me those questions directly as well. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you have a great rest of your week. Bye-bye.